Could you not bear to say goodbye to the Country Bears? Here's the story of a wacky ride-through attraction that Walt Disney Imagineering passed on that would have saved the Country Bears from permanent hibernation. Bear in mind, the ride was never built. But wow, the Critter Country 500 would have enticed herds and herds of guests to migrate to the northwest corner of Disneyland. Here's the story of Critter Country 500, having already updated the Country Bear Jamboree to the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown in 1986, and having brought new life to the area when Splash Mountain moved in across the way in 1989. 10 years later, the Country Bear Playhouse was facing an unfavorable bear market in attendance. Meanwhile, the bears in Florida remained popular in the Magic Kingdom, drawing a southern clientele with a greater interest in country music and a more prominent location within the Florida park. In 1989, Disneyland in California did increase foot traffic in the area when the Country Bear Playhouse began to share the land with Splash Mountain. But the fact remained that Critter Country was still a dead end, a disadvantage that remained an issue until Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened in 2019. One Imagineering proposal intended to attract guest flow in Critter Country, like Bears to Hunny, was a unique ride called Critter Country 500, a dark ride with a soapbox derby racing theme starring the Country Bears. Guests would have ridden in ramshackle cars, racing against country bears in a variety of wacky vehicles. Neighboring Knott's Berry Farm had an existing attraction until 1996 called Wacky Soapbox Racers. Imagine how much better Disneyland's version could have been, starring the Country Bears and a healthy dose of Disney magic. The concept of Critter Country 500 also had a financial advantage. The expensive audio animatronics of the Country Bear Playhouse could have been repurposed, much like Splash Mountain repurposed the audio animatronic figures from America Sings, both cases keeping only the bare necessities, but creating brand new attractions from existing resources. The renderings of Critter Country 500 reveal a Hanna-Barbera influence. Not surprising, since creative Kirk Hansen, who provided art direction for the project, worked for Hanna-Barbera before joining Walt Disney Imagineering. The concept artwork is reminiscent of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon Wacky Races, a CBS Saturday morning cartoon that played from 1968 to 1970. The attraction's name, Critter Country 500, is a nod to races like the Indy 500. Critter Country 500 could have had guests racing past scenes throughout North America on its way to Critter Country, with the bears meeting all sorts of wacky critters along the way. Not just bears, making Critter Country 500 a better fit for the land Critter Country than a show focused almost entirely on just bears. Although we'll never know all the critters planned for the attraction. Concept artwork reveals the return of Sammy the Raccoon helping Henry as the announcer and a pig helping Gomer and Wendell. It appears that the characters were going to be faithful to the original Country Bears. Notice Henry, the MC of the Country Bear shows, playing a similar role as the announcer of the race on ESPN, presumably Entertainment Sports Bear Network, a nod to ESPN, the sports station acquired by Disney in 1996. Also, bear witness that Ted, famous for blowing on his jug in the 5 Bear Rugs, was still blowing away, this time on a wind-powered contraption of a vehicle. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Disneyland did close the Country Bear Playhouse in 2001. Sadly, Critter Country 500 was rejected for a less interesting dark ride in 2003, The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, a synergistic way to promote Winnie the Pooh, who at the time was one of Disney's best-selling characters. While the Winnie the Pooh attraction could have been amazing, as proven by Tokyo Disneyland's superior ride, Pooh's Hunny Hunt, not your average bear of an attraction, Disneyland in California did the bare minimum. I mean, California's version of Pooh is bare bones. Had Disneyland decided to greenlight Critter Country 500, give Winnie the Pooh a more appropriate location in the park, such as Fantasyland, and give Pooh Bear an attraction equal in quality to the Japanese Pooh's Hunny Hunt, Critter Country 500 could have produced synergy with the 2002 Country Bears movie. The attraction could have included references and Easter eggs to both the Country Bears movie and the original Country Bear Jamboree, all the while making the theme of Critter Country more cohesive with a mix of various cute and wacky critters you and the bears would see racing through a cartoonish America on your soapbox derby style ride vehicle. While the Country Bears are no longer part of Critter Country, Max, Buff, and Melvin are still hanging around, at least if you know where to look, although they are barely visible. If you turn around while riding the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, in the Hunny Heaven Room, you will see that our favorite taxidermied friends never got the memo that the shows at the Country Bear Playhouse were ever canceled. Just like Max, Buff, and Melvin, I am still waiting for the Country Bears to come out of hibernation. In your opinion, which attraction should Disneyland have built in Critter Country? Critter Country 500 or the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then you will love my video about the history of the Country Bear Jamboree. Watch Country Bear Jamborees ride through Disney history. Y'all come back now, you hear?